Whenever you need to think about SAP implementation, always think about a B2B scenario, business to business scenarios, and always think about the big companies, because SAP is generally adopted from mid to top tier companies. Okay. The small scale industry generally does not implement SAP. Now, with that, what is going to happen when any company who is going to implement SAP? Okay, when any company who's going to implement SAP, they would be implementing SAP in the phases and in the rollouts. The current project which I am working, that project is implementation project, and that will go for 7 years. It is already running for almost 3 to 4 years, and next 3 years also it will go. Okay, that is a rollout project. So what we do it, we first roll it out for one country, and then we expand it. The biggest rollout project which I have seen, that went for the 9 years. Okay, so what we do in this rollout project, you will be hearing the terminology called template. It's also called a template rollout. In the template rollout, what we do, we would be preparing a design, and we would be saying, and we'll be taking some pilot countries who would be going first. We have taken, let's say we have taken Australia and New Zealand as a pilot, and we will be preparing a template for them. When we say the template is basically the design, that how the P2P process need to happen. Not as per SAP, as per this particular company. And they also try to harmonize the process, that how the P2P process need to happen. Okay, what are the steps we would be covering it? What are the reports we will be using it? Okay, what are the different scenarios we will be having it? That full P2P process steps would be covered in the documentations called business blueprint, or there can be any another name also can be given to the documentation. Process documentations will be created, and that documentation will tell that in this company, if a P2P process on SAP S/4HANA system need to happen, this is the steps we need to use it. Okay, these are the steps we need to use it. These are the reports we need to use it. This would be the purchase organizations. This would be the purchasing group. Everything has been defined, similar to for O2C. And then plan to produce, order to produce, accounts payable, accounts receivable. For all of the things, we'll be defining the processes in the templates, which is kind of a business blueprint, that this is how the process need to happen. And then we would be going live in a set of countries, or a country, let's say in this example, in Australia, New Zealand, we would be doing a first rollout. We would be implementing in Australia, New Zealand. And once the Australia, New Zealand project is done, then we'll be saying that, okay, during the Australia, New Zealand implementation also, we would be modifying our template. We would be improving our templates based on the input we are getting it from Australia, New Zealand. Then slowly, we would be taking this one to the next country. Now we will be taking it to India. When we take it to India, now this is the things change. When you would be working onto the template rollout projects, first thing you need to understand the template, not the standard SAP, but what is the template saying? How the template is doing the work, right? As per template, how the procure to pay process need to happen. It would be 50 to 60 or 60 to 70% standard SAP, but 30 to 40%, a lot of enhancements would be there. A lot of customizations which company has done to make sure that the process they want to run, it's the things has been adopted for that. A lot of interfaces they might have set it up. The sales order is not manually punched. For the sales order, 80% of the cases would be coming from the hybrid system. So they have put it a design that hybrid, the sales order has been created, an interface has been built. That interface will be bringing the sales order into the SAP S/4HANA system. Then they have a third-party systems integration with. Once the delivery has been created, or once the inbound delivery has been created, that will go to the third-party system. And the third-party system, third-party logistics system would be receiving. So a lot of these kind of cases would be there where they have done their own development, integration, interfaces, forms, reports they have done. So when you're working onto the template rollout, with your SAP knowledge, you need to enhance now to understand how this business works. What are the things that business is using, and what is their template design? Because when you are doing this, doing for India, and we are doing workshops for India, you will not generally speak about the standard SAP. We speak about this template. This is a template which has been designed, and this is how the things would happen. And we don't do the fit and gap analysis from standard SAP to what business required. The fit and gap analysis also has been done, template versus India requirements, what India business required. So there's a lot of legal requirements would be there, especially the forms. So you need to purchase a purchase order printouts. You need to print out the your invoices, and the country has a specific requirement. There can be the legal requirement. For India business, there would be a requirement related to GSTs. They need a reportings which can help for GST. They need to make sure that all the GST has been put correctly. So that can be the additional requirements. The India business is not using hybrids. They are using a S-curve system. So that would be the additional thing they would like to get the new interface so that their sales order can come from the another CRM system, because they're using India business is using another system to have their CRM sales order booked, right? So a lot of changes would be there from country to country. So we need to understand that what country requires, what is the additional things, and then we would be doing some localized requirements. So in some cases, we'll see that, okay, this is required by India, but these things would be required for another countries also, that we include into the template. That this particular requirement which is coming, this particular report which India is asking, that we would be covering into the template. So we also change our template so that when we go in future for other countries, whatever the new developments we have done, we would be able to explain to other countries also. So we would be changing our template, and few requirements would be the localized requirement. Let's say creating a country specific form, invoice form, that would be localized requirement. That are the template rollouts. Template rollout, each rollout is equivalent to an end-to-end implementation. If you have been involved into the 4 template rollouts, you have done for Australia, New Zealand, then you have done for India, you have done for the another places. Okay, so you need to mention in your CV 4 end-to-end projects on the top. Later on and below, you can explain that out of the end-to-end projects, 1 was a first end-to-end, 1 was a scratch project, and 3 was a rollout. But each individual rollout is equivalent. Each individual rollout is equivalent to an end-to-end implementation. These rollouts, let's say the India rollouts, can be as big as a 12 months project. It is taking us almost 12 months to do the India rollout, right? There can be some small rollout projects also. What is a small rollout project? The small rollout project would be within the ANZ. Now ANZ is coming and saying, Ki bhaiya, boss, I'm having a new manufacturing plant. I'm coming up with the new manufacturing plant. Or I'm doing an acquisition. They have done the acquisition of a small company, and that small company business need to now bring into the SAP system, SAP S/4HANA system, right? In those kind of cases, also there will be a rollout project that introducing a new plant, introducing a new facility to SAP S/4HANA system. Introducing a new plant can take around 3 to 6 months. Depend how big the plant is, what different function features are there. But introducing a new country can take somewhere around 9 to 15 months. So that's way basically first the template has been designed. First country go live, we do it. That first country go live itself, if you are doing a harmonized template, considering what are the requirement is coming from the different countries, can easily take 1.5 to 2 years to do your first pilot. And then you do one country, another country, and then these countries you also start doing parallel. It's not like India, you will be finishing it, then you will be going to China, Japan. You will be clubbing the countries together in a wave, and then further on, once 2 or 3 waves has been happened, once you have a confidence onto the template, your resources are now trained, they understand the template, you also start running the parallel rollouts, parallel waves you start running, where the implementation would be happening in the parallel waves. So this is rollout, or this is the template rollout. The key point I want to mention, if you are involved into the rollout, I see some CVs where they mentioned they have done 4 rollouts, but they have not mentioned 4 end-to-end implementation. Why end-to-end implementation mentioning is important? Because the job descriptions are coming with the end-to-end implementation, and there is a automatic engines which has been AI engines which run, which is matching the job description with your CV, and they don't find end-to-end implementation, your CV is not getting selected. So make sure these are the rollout projects, you understand it, and you can mention a rollout project as an end-to-end implementation later in the CV, or while speaking when you are into the interview, you can speak that these implementation projects was a rollout projects which you have done.